Previously on Bomo Bespoke, we showed you why sometimes your loafer shoes get bent out of shape like crayfish in Tinubu's economy. But we used a shoe that we made almost 6 months ago to
Explain.
no evidence. So right now we want to demonstrate our own tips in real time, particularly because of those of you that have been telling us.
Practice what you preach. Yeah.
So you're welcome back to Bomo Bespoke, and as we preached in the last video, getting your shoes to be unbowed starts from the pattern. The pattern for this particular shoe was made 2 videos ago. But if you want to find out some modifications that we've made to the wingtip, stick around to the end of this video. So, patterns aside, what next should you do to ensure that your loafers stay fresh and dandy? Well, you'd have to take care of your insoles. So you can see the insole that we're using. It's rigid at the backside, and that pinkish front part is flexible to imitate the way the feet actually is when you're walking. The next thing we talked about, of course, is lasting. Now, we mentioned that you have to last very well so that the sides are completely lined, flat and snug on the last. So this is how it's done. Take the back center line, the tip of the back center line, and correspond that to the tip of the back center line on the last as well, and then ensure that it is centralized. Then you place your nail or tack at the 12 o'clock position, just right in the middle of the tip here, like so. So you have to pull straight such that it is, snug like this. So that is the first nail that you're going to have to place. Then at the 10 o'clock position, right here, like so, the 10 o'clock position, you put another tack right there and secure that place. And then, of course, the alternate position, which is at the 2 o'clock position, you put another nail or tack. Now, if you notice how I'm pulling, I first of all pull gently on the lining, and then follow up by pulling both the lining and the upper itself. So this is another pull around the 9 o'clock position. You put your tack right there, and then you flip this, so that's the 4th nail. You flip on the alternate side, pull gently on your lining, follow up by pulling both the upper and the lining together, and then put a tack right there at the 3 o'clock position. So this is the 5th nail that we have put. As you can see, the front part of the entire upper is completely snug on the last, and there are absolutely no wrinkles. So we'll pull again at the 6 o'clock position at the back and bring that down to the back height of the upper, and then secure a nail. I would have put it right there smack at the 6 o'clock position, but I put it on the sides just to give myself additional strength to that point. So that is the 6th nail that we're putting. And then at this sides, in this case I'm only pulling on the lining, so just so that we don't offset this top line there, I hold that 4 o'clock position in place, and then put a tack right there, ensuring that the lining lies snug on the body of the last. Put a tack right there. So as you can see, there is some tension on the upper itself, but by the time I pull on the upper, everything will straighten out. We do exactly the same thing on the alternate position. Pull snug and tightly on the last. Once we achieve our straight line on the top line, we can secure that top line with some tacks, and then pull as tightly as we can on the lining, just the lining in this case. Pull as tightly as we can, and then we can secure it at that 8 o'clock position with a tack. So these are the 8 nails or tacks that you actually need. At this point, I can go ahead and remove these tacks that are securing the top line. And if I remove them and just do a quick test, you see that they snap right back. They are very tight, they snap right back and return themselves back to the body of the last. So these are the 8 cardinal nails of lasting any shoe, not just the loafers. And you can see that I can simply just fine-tune the rest of the lasting, add my glue, and secure everything in place permanently. Now, once you've permanently secured your lining in place, the next thing to be done is to add your backstay, aka counter stiffness. Now, I mentioned in that previous video where we explained that you need counter stiffness that extend all the way through to the arc of your last, which of course corresponds to the arc of the feet. And the counter stiffeners or backstays that you will buy, the pre-made ones that you buy in the market, are typically not this long. So you probably may have to fabricate one by yourself. And in my case, I fabricated this one out of vegetable tanned leather. And just pick the exact length that you want. Vegetable tanned leather is such that if you spray some water on it, it's almost moldable like clay, and you can actually mold it to the shape of your counter. You could also use vegetable tan leather for the front stiffeners, the toe puffs, but I didn't bother doing that. I basically used the same fiber material that I typically use. Now, in coupling everything together, in gluing down the upper onto the lining, I will typically use a shoemaker's paste or a carpenter's paste or the white glue. But I've received inquiries from people whether that can be done. Of course, many people do it with contact cement, but this is how I do mine. You see that I applied liberally only on one side and then closed it. This will ensure that I will not have any wrinkles as a result of, as against if I had placed on both sides. If you place it on both sides, when you're trying to pull it down, you'd find that some parts will stick to each other and it will give you a lot of problems in pulling them down, and even in attempting to straighten it out and have everything flat and smooth on the body of the last. By applying to just one side, and even before it dries up, pulling down so that it will dry up by the time you have pulled tightly and secured everything in place where they are supposed to be. If you do it this way, you'd find that chances of having those bumps and rumples and wrinkles will completely be eliminated, even if what you're using is contact cement. So those of you who have quarrels with me using the carpenter's white paste, you want to use your contact adhesive, this is how you can do it and not break a sweat. This is how you can do it, and you are almost always guaranteed that you would have no rumples. The advantage I think the white paste has over this method is that, look, if it was white paste, I wouldn't be rushing to pull it down before it dries. White paste has a curing time of almost that runs into hours, so I have enough time to adjust things and properly last my upper with as much time as I want, and I'm not in a hurry to do anything. But this works out well. You can see that it is flat, smooth and snug on the body of the last. I'll just go around and fine-tune the tip of the last and just finish off so that you don't have any wrinkles around that tip area. The tip, of course, is the very first place that people are going to look when they look at your shoes, so you want to ensure that it is very well done and that there are no wrinkles or rumples appearing beyond the feather edge of your shoe. So as you can see, this is very well done right now. Next thing I guess would be to add the sole, but remember what we said in the first video. You have to add soles whose heel heights correspond with the heel height of the last that you used in designing the pattern in the first place. Now to the bonus point that I promised at the beginning of the video, how we modified this pattern for the wingtip so that it can be amendable to broguing and a medallion. So this is the mean form that we ultimately used when we started. The last length of this mean form is 33 cm if you remember. So let's just draw the vamp line and the quarter line, and with those we can start redesigning the wingtip. Remember how we designed the wingtip? We just took 1/4 of the last length and marked that in there, drew a right angle from there, and then from the middle of our vamp line we extended that and divided the line into two, and then connected that point to the middle of that point over there, and then curved this in there, took the 1/4 of the last length again and marked, and that became the point from where we curved the rest of the wingtip. Now if you do that for this type of last, you notice that you don't have enough space for your medallion if that's what you wanted. So let's shift that a little bit by 1 cm or 1.5 cm inwards, so such that if we drew that line to meet the middle of the new line that we drew, we can curve the elbow of our wingtip that way. And then you see that if you use 1/4 of the last length from here, it will be too long, so you could use half, that's 1/8 of the last length, and from there just curve that in downwards this way. So you see that the rule of quarters, we are still maintaining it, only that, like I said, it's not cast in stone. You can vary it as you choose, only that it gives you a reference telling you how much you have deviated from that rule. So if you see that if we duplicate this like so, we would have enough space on the wingtip to do everything that we want to do. And all that we did in deviating from the first rule of quarters is to shift our point about 1 cm or 1.5 cm upward away from 1/4 of the last length. So you see that you have enough space to draw and design your medallion, and you also have enough space to add in your broguing just as you desire. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the tip I wanted to share with you. I hope you found this video exciting. Let your friends know that we're here. Let them subscribe to the channel. Till I see you guys next time, God bless you.